success manager at Bryan University, and my title is exactly what I do. I am charged with setting faculty up for success. And it starts right at the beginning with onboarding. And then they stay with me, and I never leave. I used to say I'm like the gum on the bottom of your shoe, like you try to get it off. But then I realized that sounds really bad. Nobody wants to be gum. So if anybody has a better suggestion of what I can start saying about myself, let me know later. I would appreciate it. So a fun fact about me, I am a mom of two. I have a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old. My 14-year-old is a girl, and she is very level-headed, very mature for her age. She is my child that sees things black and white and follows her whims. Anybody else have a kid that follows rules? Okay, excellent. Okay. My son is 10. He is the opposite of that. I always say he's going to give me a run for my money, right? The line is here. My son is like, what happens if I just stick my toe a little bit over the line? Anybody have a kid like that? I'll pray for you all. You all pray for me, okay? Now, why do I bring this up? With my son, my husband and I, when he was really little, we made the decision, we got to get this kid into swim lessons. We got to do that mommy and me class because it's making me nervous. We live in Arizona, there's a lot of pools. And he's my child that if I say, don't get in the water, hold on just a second. I'm going to stick my toe in just a little bit, Mom, right? He's that kid. So we enrolled him in a mommy and me class. This is not my son, but this is a good representation of my son that very first lesson. He was scared to death. He cried, he clinged to me, he did not want to get into the water. And it was appalling, right? That's not fun to watch your kid cry and cling and be scared. But we kept going down. And we kept going down. And little by little, he got more comfortable with the water. Little by little, instead of smiles on his face, and he couldn't wait to get his swim trunks on. Now, why is that? Because we took the time to do that immersive learning with him, right? Now, if I had just taken him that first day and just thrown him into the deep end and be like, good luck, kid, hope you can swim, that would be nuts. Absolutely crazy. You all would think I was a terrible mother and we need to call somebody right away. But sometimes we tend to do that in onboarding, right? Or when new technology comes out that we want our faculty to use, instead of doing that immersive learning and building that confidence for them, we just throw them in the deep end and we go, swim, good luck. And so today I'm going to talk about how do we not do that? What can we do to help give our faculty that confidence that they need and that immersive learning that they need so that they're ready to do it? Wrong button. Okay, so why is onboarding important?
Yes.
I'm just going to throw that out there. Who has a thought? Why is onboarding important? Don't be shy on me. I know you all are talkative. Yes. Starts to establish a culture. Yep. What else? Why is onboarding important?
It gives direction, signposts of how to navigate an environment that you're in.
Excellent. Yep. Anybody else? Why is onboarding important?
You can set expectations.
Set expectations. Absolutely. So I've got, this one, I'm not familiar with this one. We've got 3 words here. Student integration, consistency in teaching approaches, and faculty preparedness. That is why we do onboarding, right? And so anytime we're going to bring something new in, we've definitely got to onboard. So I'm going to read this out loud. When I get to the red, this is where we get to have fun. We're going to feel like we're in grade school. I want you to read the red part. If you want faculty to be confident and capable, using Yellowdig, you must give them the tools and resources to
foster an
environment that prioritizes
human connection.
Right. They won't know how to do it if you do not give them the tools and resources. So what we're going to talk about today is building that confident and capable faculty member. Just like my son who needed his confidence built up to learn how to swim. All right, so I'm going to talk about Bryan University, our onboarding approach, and how we handle it. So we are an online institution, and so we do onboarding with all new faculty members. It's 3 weeks long. It's mandatory. You can't get out of it. If you're going to teach for us, you got to do onboarding. we have 2 requirements to pass onboarding. The one is you have to get a 9% or better in the course. So it is an online course that we ask them to take. So there's a variety of different things we ask them to do in there. They've got assignments that they've got to complete. We have live lecture components where we interact together, that human connection. And Yellowdig. Yellowdig is a huge part of our onboarding. So it's 3 weeks long. They've got to do it. It's mandatory. They have to pass. Or they can't teach us. And the reason why that passing component is so important, it helps us really kind of get an idea on, are we the right fit for them? Right? Are they the right fit for us? It's kind of like dating a little bit. You know, try them on. Or like maybe you're a kid where you walk around just for a little bit, you're like, no, those aren't going to work. Right? So that's what we do. We put them in this 3-week onboarding, and we're trying to prepare them, especially when it comes to Yellowdig. We spend a lot of time on Yellowdig because we believe that technology like Yellowdig should enhance human connections, not replace them. Right? So technology like Yellowdig should enhance human connections and not replace them. That is a big thing that we talk about a lot in our onboarding. So I'm going to give you 3 strategies. Right? 3 strategies for building communication. Now, the first one, before I go into it, I want you to think, is there something that you've ever had somebody tell you how to do, but you didn't actually try it because you didn't go out and do right away? Have you ever tried it? I can't think of anything either. All right. So we have to give our faculty a student experience. If you want them to use Yellowdig, you can't just say, here's Yellowdig. Use it. They don't know what to do. My favorite question to ask in onboarding is, one, have you ever heard of Yellowdig or used Yellowdig? How many people do you think say yes? 0. Bingo. Then I go, have you ever used a discussion board? How many people do you think say yes? 100%. And to which I always respond with, great, it's nothing like that. It's so much better, but I don't expect you to believe me right now. I'm going to show you instead. I'm going to give you the student experience. So I'm going to put you into a Yellowdig community for that 3 weeks of onboarding. But you're going to be enrolled just as a student. So I'm going to take away all the faculty component. They can't see any of the back stuff, any of the analytics. They're just going to be a student so that they can have a playground playing, right? So that they can play around, they can figure out how the features work, and it's a safe environment with other people that are going through the onboarding experience with them. So we have 3 live virtual sessions that we do during onboarding. That very first session is just about getting them comfortable with how Yellowdig works. We take a tour together. We walk through it. Here's how you post. Here's how you comment. Here's how you tag people. Look, you can do polls. Look, you can draw. Anybody do drawing? I'm terrible. Terrible drawing. Terrible. But I do it anyways. Okay? So you put them in there and you let them experience it. Why? So they can get comfortable with it. So that they know how to use it. So when it's time for them to become the faculty member, they're not scared of it. Or they're not scared of making a mistake because they've already made the mistake. If they made a mistake, it's really hard to make, right? But if they did, they've already done it as a student. They also get to experience grade passback. Now, grade passback is a little bit different. I remember my very first, it was my first year, but it was somewhere in there. I had a student reach out to me for probably in week 3 of the class, but you don't like me very much, do you? What? My yellows are very good drops. So you must not like me. On the day before I had a perfect score, now I don't. Okay, so let's talk. All right. So you let them experience that in onboarding so that they know what it feels like and they can prepare their students as well. So you've got to give them the student experience. That's step number 1. Step number 2, show and tell. You can't just tell them. You have to show them what you mean. What do you want them to do in there? Traditional discussion boards, they're not my favorite. I think we can all agree we're all in this room. They're so painful. Why? Anybody, why? Why do you guys think traditional discussion boards are so painful? Anybody?
Or boring.
Somebody say boring? Boring. Okay, what else?
Very rigid, strict.
Rigid and strict. Yep.
Feels forced.
Feels very, very forced, right? And as an instructor, who said this? Yeah, you said this. This student just said pretty much the same thing, but in a different way. And this student just said the same thing in a different way, right? Oh my goodness, that's so boring, right? Now, the reason why I bring that up when I say show and tell, how do those two equate? If you don't tell your faculty you have the freedom on this board to do anything you want, they will fall right into the trap of using a traditional discussion board style. It's not their fault. It's what they know and they're comfortable with. And so you have to tell them, you have the freedom. This is where community and conversation happens. You have the freedom to do whatever you want on here. Have fun with it. Take ownership of it. It can be a great experience, but don't just believe me, let me show you. And so as a facilitator, that's what I do. I don't put boring stuff on there. I let them have fun on the board, right? So they can see, I see what she means when I ask somebody to describe to me how the heart works and pumps blood, how boring that could be, and how I don't want 30 responses of that, right? Like, oh, that's painful, right? So you show them and you tell them. But it doesn't just stop with that original post. So for us, we call them sparks. Every week we require our faculty to post a spark. The idea is to spark conversation and community. What we call it. They have to post a spark, but we don't let them stop there. We tell them you've got to teach through comments. So I'm going to show you some. This is what I mean through teaching through comments. This doesn't come naturally. People don't know to do this, right? Traditional discussion boards, I read a student's post, I get a rubric out. Maybe I'll respond to them, but more than likely I'm just going to give them their points, right? You follow what I asked you to do, here's the points, right? But this is supposed to be a shared community, shared conversation, and as an instructor, I should be participating. So in week 2 of my live session, we go over this. We talk about how do you teach through comments, and then I show them how to do it too.